There were great plans for this weekend. We were going to have parades and street parties as we celebrated the end of the war in Europe 75 years ago. All that has now changed, and we're invited to remember in different ways, making bunting, singing along to the TV. Yet for the majority of us who don't remember the war, there is a sense in which we are closer to the wartime generation than we have been before. The restrictions we currently face are very limited in comparison to rationing and blackout. We are not having to wave our young men off to fight. Yet we are experiencing something of that anxiety for loved ones, that limitation of freedom, which they knew so well. And so we can imagine just a bit more clearly what peace in Europe meant for those young men and women who danced the night away 75 years ago. And on that day in May 1945, the churches were filled with people giving thanks for this hard-won peace. And yet there must have been tears too for all that had been lost during those 6 long years. The end of war does not bring an end to all sadness. The end of our confinement will not restore what we have lost during these months, or bring back the people taken by the virus. Jesus offers us the gift of peace. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give you, he says. We are perhaps starting to realise a little more of what Jesus' peace involves. It's far more than the absence of war. Indeed, some people talk about experiencing Jesus' peace even in wartime. So what does this peace offer? Well, it's becoming clearer that peace and stability belong together. When we face sudden, unexpected change, our anxiety levels rocket. We are no longer at peace. And there's a relationship too between peace and freedom. For many of us, the restrictions of lockdown have created great pressure, whether because families are crammed into small spaces or because they are separated and don't know when they'll see each other again. The freedom to come and go as we want turns out to be linked closely to our well-being. Freedom, stability. These qualities are held together in the peace Jesus offers us. But he says, not as the world gives do I give to you. We live stable lives because we stand on the solid rock of God's love, not because our lives never change. We live lives of freedom because Jesus sets us free from guilt and wrongdoing, not because we can walk outside our front doors when we choose. We live in peace because Jesus shares with us the life God gave him, the life of the Spirit, God's breath within us. Some words from the prophet Micah and a prayer. The Lord shall judge between many peoples, and shall arbitrate between strong nations far away. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall there be war any more. But they shall all sit under their own vines and their own fig trees, and no one shall make them afraid.